Hello class, welcome to our first video tutorial for a little extra tutoring for those of you who may feel like you need it. So this tutorial is going to cover 4.01 Understanding Variables and Data Types. As a reminder, a variable is just a name placed in computer memory that holds a value. That's really all it is, just a container that holds a piece of information. A data type defines and identifies what kind of information is going to be held in that variable. For example, you see here dim int number as integer. Dim is just a keyword that we use in our declaration statement. Int number is our actual variable name, and all of our variable names are going to start with a prefix, three letters that will identify what data type the variable is. This one is an integer data type, so it starts with int. The remainder of the variable name, the beginning word, is going to start with a capital letter. If it has more than one word, each word of the remainder of your variable name will have a capital letter. This one, int number, has a capital N. If it said int house number, then it would have a capital H for house and then a capital N for number. Visual Basic has several keywords that are reserved and you cannot use for any variable names. One of those, of course, is dim, another one is as, and you have several other ones that you will learn throughout the remainder of this course. These keywords cannot be used to create variable names or object names. Here are some examples of some common data types and the prefixes that you should use in the names for your variables. If you have a string variable, that variable name should begin with str. Doubles should begin with dbl. Decimal variables should begin with dec, and so on and so forth. These variable names use Hungarian notation. That means the prefix for the variable name is always lowercase, and the beginning letter of each word after that should be capitalized. Here are some examples of declaring variable names with different data types. This variable name, you can see from the name of it, str, it is a string variable, and with this have a name here, you know that it's more than likely going to be used to hold a value of a name. Let's create a variable for our tutorial test program. First, we're going to start by creating a click event for our button. We're creating a click event for our button because that's more than likely what we're going to have the user to click. You can tell from my interface here that the user is going to enter their name inside this text box and enter their age in this text box. So we need to create some variables to hold this information that the user is going to give us. The name, since it is a string of characters or words, we're going to use the string data type, and we'll name it str name. Keyword as, and as you can see, IntelliSense is popping up. And as I type, IntelliSense is helping me. I'm going to hit the tab key so that I can make certain that I am using what the, we're not giving it a value yet, that I'm using what I have available to me. As you can see, there's that squiggly line letting me know I have an unused local variable. Yes, I do, but that's okay. We will assign it a value shortly. We also need a variable to hold our age of the user. I'm going to give it int age because age is a whole number. Now I have two variables with two meaningful names. I also need to assign the text of our variables. assigning text, before we get to assigning text, this PowerPoint here, this slide is just showing you the different file storage sizes for each data type, because even though you can use, like the char data type is only for one character, you can use one character for a string data type, but it's going to be a waste of space. So you want to make certain that you are using the correct data types so your program runs as efficiently as possible. When we are assigning values, we are going to be using the equal sign, which is the assignment operator. So we want to assign our variable the value of the user of the text box that the user is going to enter their name in. So we start by typing the name of that text box. Once I type in TXT, IntelliSense helps me and lets me see what selections I have to choose from. Because I named my text boxes meaningful names, I know easily which text box I should be using to assign this value. I also want to use the text property of the text box because that's the property that's going to hold whatever the user enters. I'm going to do the same thing for my int age variable. I easily see which text box goes and is going to hold the information that I need because of the meaningful names that I assigned each object. Now that I have my input from the user in my variable names, now I want to display that information inside my label. I gave my label a very meaningful name. I know it's not my prompt, or any prompt. I know it's going to be my LBL display message label. So I go ahead and select that one. And then I know I'm trying to adjust the text property of my label. So I go ahead and select .text. Then I say equals. Now what I'm here doing now is I'm going to assign a value to my label. And I want to assign the values of my string, my text boxes, or of the values that the user has entered into the text box. I'm sorry. Now before I do that, I want to get down to this little thing here called the concatenation operator. This is the ampersand, which allows us to concatenate strings of text and variables. So what I want to do is I want to have a string of text that says something like hello, and I can input the user's name, str name. I've saved it there. Hello, it's going to say hello, the user's name, and then I want to input some additional strings of text that will say hello, your name, comma, you are blank. I'll enter your age here, ampersand, years old. Alright, and then what you can see here is how I have put this message inside this label. I could have also created an additional variable that said str message as string, and then I could have actually assigned that message to this variable, and then I could have just said lbl.text equals str message. And so that way I can easily manipulate or change this, what I'm going to show in my label. So let's run it one time and see how it goes. Let's test it out. You want to remember the way that you test your program is by testing it for what you have programmed it for. You've programmed it to hold, you've created these variable names, and as we remember from last week, code works in sequence. So it's going to do this line first, then this line, and then this line. So you know that you've programmed this to create 3 variable names, store this data in these variable names, and then display the message into the label. So we have to say, hello, Tony, your age, 31, submit. Now as you can see here, you can only see part of my message. So I need to stop my program. Make sure you hit the stop button so that way it stops completely. And I need to make my form and things a little bigger so that way I'm able to see. Run the program again by either hitting the play button or hitting F5 on your keyboard. And when it comes up this time, we'll try it again. Let's see. Mrs. Hall, 31. Submit. Hello, Mrs. Hall. You are 31 years old. And you can see here from the code how I have input that information and how it ends up showing up, and I've inserted the variable names there to display. Hello class, you are 90 years old. And as you can see here, it's just changing whatever I enter there and inserting it there, and whatever I enter here and inserting it here. Thank you for your dedication to your academic success. Appreciate you watching this video. Please look forward to more coming soon.